Welcome to this guided demo through the Social Distance Editor. First, you need to log in with your user and password. When you log in, you will be able to access to your map. As you might remember, we can produce two types of maps for your social distance simulations. The first type is the standard map. It is built using the seat manifest, which describes all the seats and its features, and some reference materials provided by the club or venue, such as JPEGs describing blocks or sections. The standard map is 85 to 90% accurate. The premium map offers an accuracy of 99.9% due to the higher quality of the reference materials, like CAD drawings or any other architectural information, which will offer more accurate inputs. Right now you are seeing a premium map, where all the different elements, such as vomitories or stairs, are clearly identified. Building a premium map gives the capacity to distinguish between seat types. If in a particular block or section we have premium seats, the separation between them is going to be different in comparison to the regular seats. Once the requested map is produced offline by MMC, the map will be loaded into the editor. This is the main screen you will see once you've logged in, and normally a default simulation is created. But first, we recommend you to configure your venue. For this demo, we are going to use Oxford United Football Club. By clicking on the Edit icon on the configuration section, you will be redirected to your map, where you will be able to edit which sections belong to the different categories. Also, you can apply pricing on the different sections, rows, or seats. As an example, in this particular case, we have blocks SL6 and SL3 assigned to the log category, which means they are not eligible for the general public. To do so, we first need to select them and assign them to the needed category from the column on the left. We can also do the same procedure, but on a row level, selecting rows on the visualization mode menu and select the desired rows, in this case to block them and exclude them from the simulation. Also, you can change the view to seat level to mark certain seats individually. In this case, we are marking these two seats with the limited view label. This will allow you to identify seats with a restricted view and have them labeled in this category on your final seat manifest. In addition, you can assign them a certain price on the lower part of the left menu. Once the venue is totally configured, you can return to the main page and start running simulations, which will appear on the bottom part of the screen. In every simulation, you will be given several options. Create a new simulation, edit an existing one, duplicate it in case you want to reuse it, delete it, or share. This last option allows you to share the social distance layout, for example with your ticketing company or someone in your organization. This simulation will not be editable for the receivers of the link. If we want to share the simulation, we need to click, then select if we want to give access to anyone with a URL and copy the link. To run a new simulation, we need to select New Simulation on the bottom, and a pop-up will appear. The first step will be to select an existing configuration. We will be using the one that we just created, which is a football configuration. Having several configurations on the same editor allows your venue to adapt the social distance layout to any kind of event, such as concerts or different types of sports. Once the configuration is chosen, we assign a name to this new simulation and assign a distance between the attendees. This can be edited at any moment to adapt to the sanitary requests that will vary through time. The measurement units will be in feet or meters depending on the country. In this case it's meters because it's Europe. The next element to configure is the number of aisle seats that you want to kill in order to keep respecting the distance when people are circulating inside the stadium. In this case, we will assume that the aisle is wide enough to respect the distance, and we will select to kill 0 seats. The next step is to run the simulation. The algorithm is now calculating the optimal layout for your venue, and a new pop-up will appear. This first simulation appears with the social distance assigned, the number of aisle seats killed, and with singles and pairs. In this step, you can adapt the group percentage based on either your season ticket holder base or statistics of your previous seasons, to be able to assign the most effective percentage of groups to maximize your capacity. On the top, you can see the new capacity. In order to increase this percentage, you will need to assign bigger groups. To do so, we click on Edit Parameters and start editing the numbers. In this case, we will add 20% of groups of 2, 40% of groups of 4, and 40% of groups of 6. Even though we have selected only 3 kinds of groups, we are provided with 2 more options below. The first one is to limit capacity to 2 groups per row, and the second one is to maximize capacity. This means that the algorithm will complement the spaces that remain available with any type of groups or singles. As you can see, the resulting capacity has now increased. The algorithm has filled the empty seats with singles, while we still have our requested groups and social distance. This is a simulation displayed in our premium map. We can zoom in and check the results to see how the suggested layout looks like. The next step we can take is to edit the resulting manifest by clicking on the buttons from the left menu. We can move groups by clicking on the button, select the desired group, and try to relocate it. As you can see, when you try to move it, the editor will highlight in orange the seats that are overlapping with other groups. Another option is to add single seats manually. As you can see, a single could be added here, and it will not cause any obstruction. If we keep adding singles on the same group, we will finally see that these 2 groups are overlapping. To remove a seat, we must click on it to reverse the selection. All these changes will be reflected on the final seat manifest. The editor also allows us to perform simulation in specific sections, for example, to meet the demand of large groups. To do this, we must change the view to Section and select the section or sections that we want to edit. In this case, we will reduce the social distance and assign percentage to larger groups of 5, 7, and 8 people. We also have the option to block the aisle seats only in these sections, being able to choose the number of seats to block, if we want to block those at both ends of the block, or only those at the beginning or the end of the row. In this case, we will block 1 seat at the end of the row. As you can see, with these new parameters, the capacity of the section has grown. Now we can check the results of the simulation, and we can notice the difference between the block that we have just simulated and the rest of the venue. Remember that you can do this simulation with as many sections as you want simultaneously. When you're done with your selection, you can check it again or click on the Download Seat Manifest button on the bottom left. Once clicked, an Excel spreadsheet will be downloaded with the resulting manifest, with all the categories labeled, blocks, and pricing assigned. As you can see, it shows all the assigned parameters in a very simple format, which is pretty standard for any ticketing platform, so that they can upload it into their system and generate an event with the right layout. If you go back to the main page on the editor, you can see on the bottom part the simulation you just created. You can create an unlimited number of simulations and configurations. If you have different profiles accessing to the editor, every time you alter something on the configuration, you will need to rerun the simulation to update all the numbers consequently.